Snipers, you have to see what's happening. The Bitcoin price right now is we are facing major resistance exactly as we predicted here on the Snipers channel because we didn't get a confirmation on the Bitcoin against SPY chart. And we're heading into this weekend. We only have one more business day left for equity markets to be open. They are set to open up in a few hours, futures markets in less than 2 hours. And so this is an extremely critical update, Snipers, because check this out on the charts right now. What you'll notice is Bitcoin is starting to come back down to its 2018 previous all-time high at 19,800. If we start to break below 19,800, we are now back inside of this range here, which opens up the door to more downside. And what's very interesting about this is the S&P 500 is also inside of an extremely tight zone here, facing resistance at the midpoint of this range. You can see the previous weekly open is the major support, and we only have one more business day left for the equity markets to be open before we head into this weekend. We have to monitor what happens on this Friday because 3705 for the S&P 500 E-mini futures contract is extremely significant. And Snipers, if you've been tuned into the channel, you know we were not fooled because the Bitcoin against SPY chart we knew did not break its resistance level, and it is inside of a bearish pattern, this descending triangle. And so I told you guys, if we weren't breaking this extremely important resistance, there was no reason to say that Bitcoin was ready for a strong move to the upside. And so we have 24 hours left for equity markets before they close, and then the weekend comes. By the way, Ethereum quite calm, still holding above 65,000 Satoshis. But what's most important right now to watch into this Friday open and then heading into this weekend is, are we going to be able to stay above 19,800? Remember, for the first time ever, we closed our monthly candle below this extremely important support level here. For the previous month, we saw 3 months where that major support held, but then we finally closed below it. And so right now, more than ever, 19,800 is extremely important. If we get below that, it will open up the door to 17,204. And then we have the previous weekly open as one roadblock that the bears are going to have to face here at 18,809. So 18,809 is the immediate short-term support if we break below 19,800. Now, let's say we see green across the board for this Friday open. Then at that point, what we could assume is if we hold 19,800, the door is still open for Bitcoin to get back above its 20-week moving average at 22,000 US dollars, potentially towards our target of 24,300. That's what we're monitoring for this Friday open. And by the way, I just want you guys to pay attention here to the DXY. We have yet to break this uptrend. We have only formed higher highs so far, and we have yet to form any lower lows. You can see we've also only formed higher lows. And so tell me it wouldn't be interesting if for the first time this year, the DXY decides to form a lower low. And so that's something we're also monitoring here because the door is open for the DXY to form a lower low, being below the previous weekly open at 113. That is currently resistance. And remember, we touched the multi-year resistance level already at 114, which means that there is a possibility that could have potentially been a top for the DXY. No confirmation just yet, but a lower low would be extremely interesting to see here for the DXY. The Ethereum to Bitcoin chart holding above 65,000 Satoshis. That's extremely positive. Binance Smart Chain was hacked today. And so that's one little bit of news for you coming into this Friday open for this 3 a.m. update. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, Snipers, if you support these 3 a.m. updates. And other than that, I will say Japan down 0.7%. Pretty calm international markets right now. And so it's going to be extremely interesting to see how the S&P 500 closes this Friday. But the main point for now to keep in mind, Snipers, is the fact that we are facing major resistance. And until the Bitcoin against SPY pairing can break its major resistance, we do not have a confirmation of a breakout. Even if Bitcoin is breaking its, let's say, yearly resistance level like it just did, that's not a confirmation just yet. We have yet to see short liquidations, which means we haven't seen a short squeeze yet. We haven't seen a real breakout. We've just seen sideways price action. And so 19,800 is still extremely important. Above 19,800, we have 24,300. Below 19,800, we have 17,204. And that's the range that Bitcoin is playing in. Let's see what happens, snipers. The DXY has not formed new yearly highs after tapping that major resistance at 114. And so that's some food for thought coming into this Friday. The S&P 500 also facing major resistance. Some people were asking in the comments yesterday what this channel is that I have drawn out for the S&P 500. This is actually a channel that is pretty much holding the S&P 500 back right now. This dates back to the start of this year where we had the all-time high for the S&P 500. And then you can see if we were to take the 3 significant points of contact here for the resistance level of this channel and the downtrend that S&P 500 has been, this is the channel that we're currently playing in. And so being below the midpoint of this channel, you can see we are finding resistance here at the midpoint of this channel. And so if we can get above that, that's also a potential confirmation of a push to the upside. But that's why we were pretty confident here on the Snipers channel that we didn't want to get fooled here with a lot of the bulls saying that we were ready for a breakout. We didn't yet get a confirmation above that major resistance. So that's what we're watching here. It's right around 3,800 for the S&P 500 E-mini futures contract. And with that being said, it's going to be interesting to see how this Friday plays out. The volatility has really slowed down here for Bitcoin. But once again, I want to really emphasize this, snipers. It's not always the case, but right now, the most important chart is the Bitcoin against SPY chart. It's what's going to give us the earliest confirmation of the next move. And you can see here we are clearly inside of a descending triangle, and we've yet to break out of this. And so if we can start to see some price action above this major resistance, that will be the early signs of a major move coming for Bitcoin to the upside. And with that, thank you all, snipers, for tuning into the channel for this 3 a.m. update. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and I will see you guys this weekend. Snipers